as investigators worked behind crime scene tape just outside the front door. Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Velez has more from Long Beach.
Liz Jory, this street has been blocked off for a huge portion of the day after a deadly shooting here in the heart of downtown Long Beach. And on a Sunday night, on what was supposed to be a joyous occasion, this was the last thing anyone here wanted to see.
Somebody said, well, they're fighting outside, but it looked like it was, a real, whatever was going on, it was really serious. It was
panic on Pine Avenue on Sunday as the sound of gunfire sent people running during what was meant to be a celebration.
Oh, shooting, no?
Hundreds had packed this stretch of downtown Long Beach Sunday afternoon for the grand opening of Marathon Burger, the fast food chain founded by the late rapper Nipsey Hussle and his brother Black Sam. But just after 3:30 p.m., police say they received reports of gunfire.
And they ran in one direction and then ran in another direction. And then somebody said that they heard gunshots.
The shooting happened about a half block south of the event on Broadway near Pine, just outside the perimeter that had been blocked off for the celebration. Nipsey Hussle's relatives speaking with Eyewitness News.
It was disappointing because I know that Nip, Sam, Black Sam wanted this to be a happy occasion. So it's unfortunate that something happened that would bring more attention to the negative elements as opposed to positive elements.
3 men were shot and taken to a local hospital where one victim later died. The other 2 remain in stable condition.
That's devastating, you know what I'm saying? Very devastating, especially, being that, this is the grand opening, we're here to honor Nipsey Hussle, the late great, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what he would have wanted.
Long Beach police say this is still under investigation with no suspects in custody. Investigators have not said whether the shooting was connected to the grand opening event, but Marathon Burger telling Eyewitness News the incident nearby was not connected to the massive event. The violence comes just one day after hundreds gathered in South LA as the city officially named the intersection of Slauson and Crenshaw Nipsey Hussle Square, honoring the rapper's life and legacy. In Long Beach, Abigail Velez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Abigail, thank you. Now to breaking news out of the Middle East, where the fighting between the U.S., Israel, and Iran continues. We have just learned that fire and smoke have been seen inside the U.S. Embassy compound in Kuwait after an attack by Iran. We are now working on gathering more information.
This comes as missiles were launched from Iran toward Israel and Bahrain just within the last hour. Here's a live look at Jerusalem right now. It's just after 9 o'clock Monday morning there. Sunday was a deadly day. At least 9 people killed at a bombing at a synagogue. This also comes after we've learned new details on the first American casualties of an escalating air assault.
Tonight, 3 United States service members are confirmed dead and 5 more seriously injured in an Iranian attack in Kuwait, retaliation for the assassination of the country's supreme leader by the U.S. and Israel. Late today, President Trump released a recorded video honoring the fallen and predicting more American deaths.
As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, and sadly, there will likely be more.
In a phone conversation tonight, President Trump told ABC's Jonathan Karl of the conflict with Iran, quote, "We always thought it was a 4 to 5 week deal." U.S. officials say military forces have already hit more than 1,000 targets this weekend. Israel says the joint operation has crippled nearly all of Iran's defenses. But missiles also struck an Iranian girls' school, killing more than 140 civilians. And this video shows a private hospital and hotel heavily damaged by a military strike on an Iranian state TV antenna. The president oversaw the joint air assault on Iran from his Palm Beach golf club late Friday night. Saturday night, as Iran retaliated with drones and missiles, many aimed at U.S. bases across the region, the president mingled with guests at a private fundraiser. With deadly explosions erupting across the Middle East as President Trump and Iran's foreign minister exchange escalating threats of more strikes, fear is growing of an all-out regional war. California Senator Adam Schiff wants answers from the White House.
The president has made no case to the American people. He sought no authorization from Congress. We need to return ASAP and take up a vote on the War Powers Resolution.
As he returned to the White House late tonight,
Mr. President, will you take questions on Iran? What's Mr. President, what's your message to the families of the service members who were killed?
President Trump evaded questions from reporters on perhaps the most consequential decision of his second presidency.
So we heard California Senator Adam Schiff asked there, what will come next? Well, in Washington, several things will happen. Tomorrow, the Gang of Eight and key leaders of national security committees are expected to receive a classified briefing on Iran from Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other members of the Trump administration. That's according to multiple sources. Then on Tuesday, all members of the House and Senate will receive a classified briefing from the administration. On Thursday, lawmakers are expected to hold a vote on the highly anticipated War Powers Resolution. That's according to two sources speaking with ABC News. If passed, that would require congressional approval before the president can order any further military action in Iran.
Here in Southern California today, hundreds of Iranian Americans rallied near the federal building in Westwood celebrating the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. They waved flags representing the former Iranian government under the Shah, alongside American and Israeli flags. People there in the crowd called for freedom for the Iranian people. Those in the crowd are now hoping for regime change in Iran and praising the actions of the U.S. and Israeli militaries.
They had been calling on President Trump to do this exact movement for months now. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam spoke with some of those demonstrators to learn what this means to them.
The Iranian demonstration here in Westwood was lively and energetic. They say the U.S., Israel, and Iran conflict is a moment of real change. Their passion spilled into the streets of L.A., Iranians celebrating the death of a dictator while giving the president high praise.
Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump!
Air 7 captured the spectacle outside the federal building in Westwood, where hundreds of people waved the Iranian, American, and Israel flag in tribute after those devastating airstrikes. The joint mission, killing Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. The president claims Iran's entire military command is gone.
Without Trump's actions, without Israel's actions, there is no chance to get rid of this regime. This is the best chance we have, and we will fight till the end.
Masoud calling Khamenei an evil leader who oppressed people in his native country for decades. Those massive military attacks on Iran killed hundreds of people, left hundreds more injured. Iran's retaliatory strikes in Kuwait left at least 3 American soldiers dead, 5 seriously wounded.
I'm here to celebrate all the people that have recently died, make sure that their deaths were not in vain, and make sure that we're here to remember them.
This Iranian woman calling for new leadership. Air 7 zoomed in on the face and name of the person demonstrators say should repair Iran.
We just want revolution, and we have our leader that we trust him. Reza Pahlavi is the only person that we want.
Despite the casualties from this conflict, demonstrators believe Iran will be able to thrive under new leadership. Tim Pulliam, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. There has been a massive disruption in air travel across the Middle East after the attack on Iran. More than 3,400 flights have been canceled after 8 countries closed or partially closed down their airspace over safety concerns. That's impacted major hubs like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, and Tel Aviv. Several carriers have also suspended service to the region. Several flights into and out of LAX to and from those locations have already been canceled today.
The U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran is rattling the oil markets. U.S. futures dropped, Asian shares opened lower on Monday trading, and oil prices have soared. There is concern in the supply of oil from Iran and around the Middle East that it will either slow or stop, even temporarily. This video shows a U.S. certified oil tanker burning after it was attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. The crew was evacuated. There are some reports that Iran's Revolutionary Guard is warning commercial ships they are not allowed to pass the strait. The route is critical to global trade. Roughly 20% of the world's oil travels through the waterway, connecting the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea. Industry experts note that gas and diesel prices will not skyrocket overnight here in the U.S., but price fluctuations will depend on the intensity and the duration of this conflict. We will continue to monitor the joint attack on Iran and the fallout here on ABC 7. We'll also send out any major updates as push alerts to our ABC 7 Los Angeles app.
A mass shooting outside a bar in Austin, Texas is now being investigated as a potential act of terrorism, possibly in response to the attack on Iran and the assassination of their supreme leader. 2 people were killed, 14 others injured. The gunman shooting a pistol out of an SUV window before getting out and firing the rifle on foot. You can see him behind that car there. Responding officers shot and killed the shooter, identified as 53-year-old Jaga Zhang. ABC News obtained this photo of the shooter. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen from Senegal. Investigators say he was wearing clothes with an Iranian flag design and the words "Property of Allah." The White House says President Trump has been briefed on the shooting.
Up next, a frightening moment on the 405.